I'm Demonac, and it's Elder Scrolls Legends time. That's right, I've got into the beta now, and they've lifted the NDA, for the Elder Scrolls-based online TCG, CCG, whatever you want to call it. I've always said, and I say it relatively frequently, it is so much easier to take something that someone else has made and make it better than to make a whole thing yourself. No matter how much effort, how many people have worked on some project, you can almost always just look at it and say, well, it would just be better if I did this. This is what happens when a bunch of people look at Hearthstone and say, Hearthstone is doing a lot of things well, let's just make our own version, because then we can do more and better. And I can't definitively say it's better. A lot of that is based on how they're going to deal with balance over time, but Elder Scrolls Legends is a lot like a Hearthstone that has they've added a lot of dimensions to it, which I think people who are familiar with a little bit less casual CCGs like Magic the Gathering would really appreciate. And yeah, I watched Quill18 play this, and I really like the idea. And it also has an arena, which is good because I don't have a lot of good cards yet. It's got a pretty decent solo campaign to get you to first teach you the rules, but then it goes on for a while to get you more cards, get you more familiar with the card pool, and just get you more comfortable playing the game. And you have to play through a certain amount of that before you're able to enter the solo arena, and you have to beat the solo arena before you can go and do arena against other actual players. So this is a little bit like a campaign mode in Hearthstone Arena.
You set aside your collection to battle using an army of cards you recruit. Use your arena ticket to enter your first arena.
So you got an arena ticket from playing the campaign. You're going to spend that. And much like Hearthstone, you're going to go through
this arena
and select one card of each out of the three in each row to get yourself a 30-card deck. But then you're going to get to add an extra card or two after every match going forward until you either lose 3 games or win your arena. You're going to find that the rules are in many ways similar to Hearthstone, in some ways different. I'll go through that as we go along. These classes, it's really just that there are 5 colors of cards, if you're thinking Magic the Gathering wise, and they just you're only allowed to play with 2 different colors in a deck, which means that there are all kinds of 25 different ways to mix and match a pair of 2 of those, or they're neutral cards, or you could play with just 1 color worth of stuff, whatever. I don't really know what's best yet necessarily, but I'm gonna go with the archer here because they'll have some fairly beefy minions for fighting, and the agility cards should be good for killing stuff. Yeah, that's whatever it says. It's flavor texty, but
presenting the archer.
Pick a card to add to your deck.
So, and much like Hearthstone, I get to go through and add the picks. Now, the randomness, the rarity seems to be just completely random. It's not like each row is a specific rarity, as far as I can tell. I don't know exactly the rules. Close enough. A 3/3 for 5 when you summon it, he shackles, so all creatures in the lane, so immobilized, they can't attack for 1 turn. That's interesting. He's a little bit expensive for his stats, but that's a pretty strong ability. +2/+0 while you have no cards in hand. Yeah, that's not going to be good for a 1-cost creature. And this guy, when he last gasp, death rattle, is going to deal 3 damage to my opponent, and I'll gain 3 health when he dies. That doesn't affect the state of play as much as I would like. Let's take the snake, whatever is crazy. Now it says all creatures in this lane.
And continue picking until you've made your deck.
Yeah, shut up, dude. That's because generally there are 2 lanes. So it's like you have 2 Hearthstone boards, and you're playing every time you play a minion, you choose which one you're going to play it on. Normally, you can have up to 4 minions in each lane. Sometimes they have different rules for the lanes. There's a standard set of rules in the main game. We'll get to that later. But, yeah, things can affect one lane, the other, or potentially both. There are a lot of rules that we kind of have to get through. So this guy, 2/3 charge for 3. I mean, that's not great in the stats, but, charge is good. Guess what charge does? It charges. This lets you move a guy between lanes, and you draw a card when you do that, which could be pretty valuable. I like this guy. 3/3 guard is taunt, basically, although it's taunt just for 1 lane, which inherently makes taunt more interesting, because, I mean, you could have taunt in that lane, but still getting beat on in the other lane, all this stuff. And Prophecy is an ability we'll talk about later, and there is a chance I might get to play him for free at some point. Well, it wouldn't be Elder Scrolls without an arrow to the knee. This just stops creature from attacking for one turn, but also deals 1 damage to it. 1 damage for 1 mana, not actually that bad. 2-1 taunt for 1 will be... This guy, I think, is pretty cool. We're going to try it. 2-1 for 3, not good, obviously, but he immediately gives another minion of yours +2/+1. That is strong. This guy is 3/7 who can attack twice every turn. That's pretty good. A 0/4. Start of your turn, deal 4 damage to a random enemy. If this isn't behind a taunt, it's kind of doomed. I'm not too excited by that. And 4/4 for 4 who gives all other friendly goblins +2/+2. I haven't got very far yet. I could try and take him and then get more goblins. 4/4 for 4 is solid anyway. Just those stats with no other abilities is actually quite decent. This guy does have the hit points to support being able to attack twice, though. But we'll take the goblin. He might go crazy. So this guy is he's a 2/1 for 0, sort of, except on my opponent's turn he can hit him with anything, because he only has +2 attack on my turn, so he can be taken out very easily and without losing anything. Dwarven Sphere, Dwemer, is apparently like golems or something. 2/3, when he comes into play, he shackles enemy creature. That's not bad. Oh, these guys are cool. I like these guys, though. Because he's a 3/3 for 3, which is okay. But if you equip him with an item, he gets +0/+3 in taunt, which is like a large guy. And the items are just like any spell in Hearthstone which would target a creature and give it like a bonus to stats or something. That's an item in this game, which means things interact with them sometimes. He's a pretty good guy. This is a goblin, but he's like a weak-ass goblin. I'm not taking him just because of synergy with what's his skirmisher. So we'll take that. The freezing guy was not okay too. Okay, this is a support card. It's ongoing. So this is something you really don't see in Hearthstone. It's like in Magic the Gathering, a global enchantment. You don't know what that means? You play this card, it's not a minion, it just sits out there on the board and does what it says, unless somebody blows it up, and it may just never get blown up. It may just sit out there giving all my friendly strength creatures +1/+0. That's not bad at all. This guy, 3/4 taunt, and he gets when he comes into play, if there's a wounded enemy in that lane, he gets +2/+2. That is big. This guy is a 3/1 for 3, so that's very fragile, right? But on a standard board for this game, if one of the lanes is sort of a stealth lane where a minion you play in that lane can't be attacked for 1 turn. You can still blow them up with spells, but that means that low defense minions have a much better chance to do something. And when you play this guy, you get to move a friendly creature to another lane, and anytime a friendly creature moves, it's +1/+1. So playing him, as long as you have another minion out there, you can give it +1/+1 and move it. Man, this is a good row, as far as I can tell. My creatures mostly... I don't have any strength creatures yet. I'm just not going to take that thing for now. This guy, these two are both very interesting. Let's take him. He's more weird and interesting. Okay. This one, he's a 2/3 for 3, but he gets bigger later in the game, as long as I've been successful in damaging my opponent. We'll go into that later. He can be pretty good. There's another one of those frenzied witchman guys, who I think is cool, but I haven't played around with him enough to know they're good. This guy is 2/2 for 2. He gets a +3 attack and breakthrough, which is trample if you know Magic the Gathering. It means when he damages an enemy minion, if he has any damage left over after killing it, it goes through to the enemy hero, whether he lives or dies. That's with an item. I don't find that quite as exciting as the other. I like the defensive one more. But I'm going to take this guy. He can be pretty fat. This is an expensive thing. 5/4 for 7 are not big stats, but he gives all enemy creatures in a lane just a permanent -1/-1. So that's like doing 1 damage to them, but if it doesn't kill them, it's still like weakening them. This guy's 3/2 for 2 is solid. He's that bad goblin I don't like. We'll take this guy. He may be overpriced, but he could do good stuff. This is a 1/2 for 2. He's got taunt, anything he damages dies. I mean, he as a 1/2, anything that damages him, he probably dies. But with taunt, that's okay. And prophecy, I might get to play him for free out of turn, depending on how things happen. This guy's a 1/1 charge for 0, which is cool, but you don't usually put him like in your deck directly. There are card effects that generate these guys. And the 2/1 taunt, we'll take this guy. He's pretty solid. 3/2 for 3. Pilfer means whenever he damages the enemy hero, he triggers this ability. Anytime this guy damages the enemy hero, he gets +3 attack. Like, just gains it, it stays. That's pretty rough. This is just an expensive 5/5 trample, which is still not bad. Like, that's solid. I think this guy, he's got a reasonable chance to get his thing done. Again, you put him down in the stealth lane, and he's got a chance. This is a 2/1, and whenever it deals damage, you heal that much health. That's what drain means. That's pretty sweet, considering you aren't capped at your starting health. You start with 30 health, much like Hearthstone, but you can go above that from normal healing effects, so that's pretty good. This guy I still think is good. This guy, when you play him, he moves another guy. He doesn't give the bonus like the other one, but that's still interesting. I don't have a lot of 1-drops. This thing is okay. Like, if you have taunt, he could be pretty good. But I'm going to take this guy. He could be 5/6 taunt for 4 would be awesome if you can set it up. 5/3 for 4 is a little fragile, but pretty damaging. Arrow in the knee, flexible and useful. This guy's 5/5 for 7, but when he comes into play, he immediately just gives a temporary +5/+0 to it. It is temporary. Let's take arrow to the knee. It's good to have around. 1/5 charge for 3. He can finish off things and survive sometimes. Deal 3 damage to your opponent and gain 3 health. I don't like that. That only damages my opponent. I do like this guy, though. He could be big. Fiery Imp is just a 1/1, but whenever he attacks, no matter what happens in his actual attack, he deals 2 damage to the opponent first, which is okay. Make all the enemy creatures lose taunt, aka guard. Or this guy is a 2/2 for 2. Every time he hits your opponent, he's going to gain +1/+1. I think he's pretty good. Another attack twice cat. We've got 1/4 charge for 4. If it damages your opponent, you gain 2 max mana. Blah. That is craziness. But it's also a little slow. Like it has charge, so you play it and you attack right away. This is a 4/2, but it just deals 1 damage to all enemies in the lane. So that could be up to 4 enemies. She finishes people off. And she has the prophecy thing. She might be free. Probably not. 2/1 guard. This guy's expensive. Heavy Battle Axe is a little expensive for a creature enchantment if you're thinking Magic the Gathering turns, but +4/+1, that is still a big bonus, because you got to remember there are 2 lanes, so you could much more easily than normal have a minion that's off in a lane with no enemy around you, and the enemy could have guys on the board, but not have any guys that can challenge the one you put this on right away. So you might get away with 2 swings with this easily. And I also have one of those guys who gets a bonus for items. I'm going to try and get a couple items for him because he's good. So this guy seems pretty solid. This is a 3/2 goblin for 3/2 for 3. This guy is cool. Yeah, if you can play him first turn, he only costs 1. So this is a 3/2 for 1, which kicks ass. And then 3/2 for 3 is obviously bad, but it's worth the risk for that, I think. And I do have that Goblin Synergy guy, so why not? A 3/1 for 2 deals 2 damage to each player when he comes into play. I don't see that being useful. 0 cost item that gives +1/+1 and trample. Having a 0 cost item to trigger my Battle Mage would be okay, but I only have 1 Battle Mage right now, so I think I'm going to take this guy who could be a large taunt, potentially. We got another one of these guys. I'm tempted to take this, because this is a fat guy I can sort of get behind. 7/5 is, fairly solid stats for 6 mana. But this is just, like, execute. You pay 2 mana, destroy any enemy creature that has taken damage. I gotta take that. That's part of why I took agility. Oh, I could get another one. Or this guy, who I like less than that other guy I just turned down. The 1/5 charge is not super thrilling. I mean, there's uses for that. I could put it, for 7 mana, I could play him, and then I could play the Heavy Battle Axe on him, and now he's a 5/6 charge. So that's that would combine well. But we're going to take another finish off. Because goodness. This guy, 2/3 for 3, he deals 1 damage to all other creatures in the lane. Now that includes other friendly creatures, if any, but again, you could choose a lane where you don't have any creatures right now. He can definitely finish guys off. I find it's not infrequent that you can kill things with 1 damage, because the damage does stick around between turns, like in Hearthstone. We had Horseman 2/2. Oh yeah, it's the one that gets attack bonus and trample with an item, or just a solid 3/2. Let's take a Pyromancer guy. He's kind of disappointing because his name is Skaven and he's like not even a rat man. Like, I don't know Elder Scrolls. I don't care. You're no Skaven though. This thing again, and we got two different orc variants. I don't have orcs, but this guy's 2/2 and he gives other friendly creatures in the lane +1/+0. 2/2 for 2. That's not too bad. I like him much better than the same guy in Hearthstone who costs 3. But this guy, he's a 3/2 for 2, so he's much better on his own. But he gives friendly orcs in the lane trample. I don't have other orcs. Let's take this guy. I'm more likely to be able to use that. Her again. This, at the start of your turn, summon a random spider. The spiders are pretty small from what I've seen. They tend to be sort of 1, at best 2 cost sort of minions, but free 1 every turn. It costs 7. I don't know. 2/2 for 3 that steals all items from an enemy creature. I'm going to take a chance on that. Probably never come up, never be useful, but whatever. Don't need this. Get rid of enemy taunt, it's okay. But let's take another battle axe, that's cool. We got 6 cards left. Arrow to the knee. This guy, well, it's getting down here. We've got a couple of finish offs. I don't have a lot of the guys who do 1 damage like I would like to have. But I think I'm going to take this guy. Yeah. Even though he has less stats than 1/5 guy, he does more damage, which is important. +2/+2 if you have another friendly orc. I don't have a lot of orcs. This guy's stats are not great. This one it is. And Spider Lair again. Gladiator Arena. At the start of each player's turn, deal 2 damage to that player. I might have like rushy stuff. I'm not planning to rush them down that much. This is a 3/4, and when it comes into play, it gives you a random animal. That I'm assuming that's not great, but who knows? It's random. You could get something big. I like both of these guys. They're both 3-cost minions. Or we have Stone Throw, which is 3 mana. Destroy an enemy creature as long as you have a creature with higher power. So it's got to be higher, not tied. But I don't know. We have some stuff. I mean, this can almost certainly will be able to blow up a 3 or less attack minion. That shouldn't be too hard. Certainly 2 or less. Although at that point it's kind of expensive. Actually, I don't have that much that has high attack values, do I? I have some guys who can get bonuses who could be 3 or 4, but no, I really don't have the greatest guys for that. I would be better off with him to buff one of my minions immediately. Again, he comes into play and does it right away, so he could be buffing something that can attack right away. Or this guy who just comes in and is often going to be 3/4 or a 3/4 or a 4/5 for 3 mana. I have a couple of them already. Let's take a second. Witchman, 2/1 taunts, Butcher. Take another battle axe. That might be too heavy on the battle axes. I wish I could have taken that instead of the battle axe. What's this guy? 2/2, and when you summon another agility creature, he gets +1/+1. Oh, I have a lot of agility creatures in here. A lot of my guys have that icon. I'm glad they have icons because I'm colorblind as hell. But most of my minions are agility, so most of my creatures would give him a bonus. And I have that guy gets a bonus from orcs. On the other hand, this is just give a minion +1/+1 and drain. So you're going to heal from any damage that minion deals, which is going to give you immediately some health. But if it lives longer, that can stabilize your health even while you're getting beat down in the other lane. Oh, I really like that thing. I think I'm going to try out this guy, though. Just so I have a better chance for that goblin guy to go. Okay, here's our opponents.
9 enemies await you. The boss must be faced last, but you can take on the others in any order you choose. Pick an enemy to begin.
They are definitely randomized, because a lot of these guys are different than the ones that Ghoul 18 faced, which is cool. It means that you do the solo arena and you get different experience multiple times. A lot of these guys have special powers, like some special thing they start with, or some ability or whatever, which means they're very interesting. Once you learn them all, I'm sure you can make smart decisions about what order you face them in. Currently, all I have to go on is their colors, and honestly, their colors don't tell me as much as they could. I don't damn know. But she's the boss. I got to defeat all the other ones. If I lose against one, I have to play that one again and beat it. So you probably try and get some more cards because you get a card or two every time you win and then come back later. But I'm going to try this person who looks fairly normalish. Why not? Just pick one and smash because I don't know. Are we smashing or not?
Are you ready for a bloodbath?
I was ready 5 seconds ago when I clicked. The Dark Prophets. Okay. You can get titles. They're kind of, you get them from like achievements. So you can choose what your title is, which is kind of fun. Hey, like Hearthstone, you can mulligan some of your starting cards. He's a little expensive. This is way expensive and not big. We'll now pitch this swindle too. I have lots of cheaper minions that are better than that. So the interesting thing is these rooms around your fortress. They're very important. It's sort of a built-in strategic rush reduction mechanism. They're pretty friggin' cool. Oh, speaking of going second, it's like in Hearthstone when you get the coin, except you get 3 coins. This is just a support item. It sits out there, but it has uses. I can use it 3 times over the course of the game to basically get a coin for that turn. Once per turn only, but I could do that and play Murkwater Savage right away, and I'm going to do that. Because next turn I could play one of my 3-cost guys as well. That really helps to balance it out. Now, if you look at the 2 lanes, this is Field Lane. It has no special rules. Well, she started with 5 extra health, which is not that scary a power. That minion shackles an enemy creature when she comes into play. That's fine. This lane is the stealth lane, where any creature you put in here can't be attacked for 1 turn. You can still target them with battle cries and stuff like that. That's fine. Summon is the keyword, is like battle cry in Hearthstone. But let's see. The Dune Smuggler would let me move that minion to the other lane and give it +1/+1, and he's an agility creature, so it would give itself +1/+1. He'd become pretty big. This guy I'm not going to do right now. Frenzied Witchman is a neutral minion, so he doesn't actually grow him from that thing, but he would give him +2/+1. I think we're going to do the Smuggler thing. We're going to put the Smuggler in this lane, where he, in truth, might just get, like, blown up by the Harpy, but that's okay. And then I'm going to move him. What happened? Okay, it was slow, that's what. So move him to the other lane, gave him the +1/+1. He gave himself +1/+1. He's kind of scary over there. And because he got moved to the lane, he's apparently stealth now for 1 turn. So this guy's probably going to get killed by the Harpy. I'm not too sad about that. You gain 1 mana every turn like in Hearthstone, although I think the max is higher, it's like 12 or something maybe, I don't know. You can actually look at the cards in your discard pile, which is a nice change. Means that there are some cards that interact with your discard pile, which Magic the Gathering fans like. So he played a basic Crocodile over here, 3/2, that I can't attack right now because of the cloudy thing. It's got the stealth from coming into play. He chose to hit me for 2 instead of killing this guy, which means technically if I moved a guy somewhere else, I only have like 1 or other card that does that, I think, maybe 2. They would get a bonus, but mostly my guy does more damage, so I might as well attack. Although you got 40 health now, you've been gaining. We played a potion, okay, whatever. Frenzied Witchman would make this guy quite a target, or that guy quite a target. So this would kill him in the same lane. That's not great. Give all other friendly goblins +2/+2. I have a friendly goblin, and I could coin him out. I'm going to have no coin left, which I don't like. It would be nice to have some left, but we got to do that. This guy doesn't care about lanes, just all other friendly goblins. So I'm going to put him in this lane, try and keep control of this one. And he, of course, it's an agility creature, so this guy is gargantuan already. Now, when I hit my opponent, it's not going to break a rune because they were above 30. But, oh, whoops, I almost ended my turn without doing that. Yeah, you're back down to 30, like you should be, you punk. But, okay. When you, starting from 30, whenever you take 5 damage, it breaks one of these runes. And when one of your runes is broken, you draw a card. Like I just drew an extra guy. So if you beat down your opponent faster, you are giving them more cards. But also, any card with the prophecy keyword, like this guy, if that is the card that you draw from a broken rune, you can immediately play it for free. Like immediately. So playing a 3/2 non-taunt Crocodile, like with a guard, not very exciting, but it's still free. And it's just sort of factored into the cost of the minion. But you can see how potentially you play a taunt or a minion that does something interesting, It'd be very exciting. Now, I haven't broken any enemy runes. This guy would be big if I could start breaking some runes. Like, if my opponent played him, he'd be a 3-4. Arrow to the knee, doesn't help me that much. Let's, I guess it's going to be so huge for no reason. Could play this guy, do 1 damage to nobody, basically. Or I could shoot this with an arrow in the knee, then play him over here. It would deal 1 damage to my big guy. But that thing would be dead. I've got to do something, right? So... Well, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to hit my opponent first. I was going to play guys first, but I don't have any agility minions. So this is a card. If it went aside like that, I don't know if that means it was a prophecy and they chose not to play it, or what. I don't know. But anyway, now this guy's going to at least have +1. I'll do that. That's good. He could have been bigger later, because I'm going to break one of those runes every turn until this guy dies. But, yeah, I'm not going to waste my arrow to the knee on that thing. I don't really care. There are going to be much more dangerous enemies, I'm sure. Okay, he just shackles my guy. That's not very exciting. Ooh. Give that thing +3 attack from that weapon it's got. It has a sword. And I drew this guy from breaking a rune as a prophecy, so I can play him for free. He's my pilfer guy. Normally I would play him in the shadow lane, but my opponent has nothing over here in the exposed lane. That gave him a bonus to an agility minion, and the combos. Oh my god, the stuff. Okay, what we're going to do... I'm going to beat my opponent's face in, mostly. Yeah. I think we're going to shackle this thing. I don't need to kill it right now, but I don't want it to keep taking that huge amount of damage. Shackle it. It is also damaged, though, which means now if I play this guy in that lane, he's going to get his +2/+2. This guy's getting that bonus for agility minions. He was left alone too long. So he hits and gets +1/+1 for hitting the enemy. Now I'm going to break a rune. We'll see if he gets anything. No, he just drew the card directly. So that other time, when it went aside like that, he really did draw a prophecy card and choose not to use it. Okay, 0 cost +3 hit points shield. That's kind of annoying. That guy's a 2/4 taunt, but he has prophecy, so he could have been played for free. He just didn't draw him at the right time. This guy summons a random animal. This would shackle all enemy minions in the lane. I could just go beat on it. Do I have lethal? I might actually have lethal. So if this guy kills that, I have to kill the taunt with something because it's blocking this lane. I hit for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He can do 16, 17. So enemy creatures, he doesn't do it to the opponent. No, I'm going to be 1 short of killing my opponent if I do that. So we're maybe going to hold off, play this guy instead. I am going to kill that, though. And the crocodile will have to kill him to get through him. Meanwhile, we will cast this thing over here. Get myself a random animal. Randomal. Territorial Viper. So this has lethal, so it kills anything it damages, and charge. Unfortunately, right now, it's just like a 1/1 charge, which is not all that exciting. But it did make him bigger, so cool. Okay, let's... Servers will be going offline for maintenance in 10 minutes. Well, let's finish him before that. Smash. Actually, growing him from the thing could have... Why would you put it in that lane? So he got 2 prophecy cards, but he put the taunt in the lane where there's nothing left that could attack. If he put it over here, it would have stopped me from killing him, but now I can just kill him. Unless he gets another prophecy. He got another prophecy card. This guy's deck... This is the Dark Prophet. Their deck is really heavily prophecy. And again, they put the taunt in the lane where it won't stop me from killing him. This is beta. Maybe their AI will get better, or maybe not, because it's AI. But whatever. I get to win and look like a boss, even though it looks like I would have won that anyway, but that was some crap AI, seriously. It needs to learn where to put the taunts. It does the lethal math really well for, like, killing me. Not so well for, like, not dying. Okay, so there's experience that you gain just from doing stuff. Some of the starting cards you get can be leveled up. So, like, this thing is not very exciting. A support card gives all my minions +0/+1. It's like, that's not that big. But as leveling up, it just turns into friendly creatures that have +1/+1. Okay, well, now it's more interesting. I could see playing that. Okay, that was very exciting, yeah. But
Each time
that's not part of the
you defeat
arena.
an enemy, You will get to pick another card to add
So
to your deck.
I get another row here. I could get a 5/3, but at the start of every turn it does 2 damage to me. It's 5/3 for 3. It does come out fast. This guy makes all spells cost 2 more. Spells or actions, whatever. That wouldn't affect items and stuff like that because they are separate from other like actiony type spells. Or what the hell is he? 6/7 for 6. When he attacks and destroys a creature, he can attack again. Okay, I don't have a lot of big beefy stuff. You notice I didn't take the boulder throw because I don't have much this big. He is big, he's solid for the cost, and he even has an okay ability. Like sometimes he'll kill something and then get to go in it. If there's a taunt in the other lane that doesn't have enough attack to kill him, he can kill it and then go through again while also freeing up the lane for everything else. So he is definitely my pick out of that group. He's just added to my deck. I would have to choose another opponent.
The greater your prize becomes.
And of course, just like in Hearthstone, you get more wins. Even if I get my ass kicked somehow, I'll still get some reward. But I want to get enough to pay for my next run, hopefully. But the servers are going down, and like in Hearthstone, I spend a lot of time choosing my deck, and you're gonna have to go and do the games. Do one game first off, so you can see what the deck is like. But we're gonna have to see how the rest of the run goes next time.
If you found that useful or entertaining, or if you enjoy cookies, hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Demonac Games for more Hearthstone Arena and other gaming videos.